we've heard from the Whitecaps team that there have been 100 parties interested, but no viable offer to keep the team here. And a big deterrent seems to be this arrangement with BC Place, that they say it's not sustainable because of that restricted revenue from concession sales, that BC Place isn't just for sole use of the Whitecaps, so there are scheduling issues. How unusual is that kind of arrangement? How much of a deterrent is that for interested parties?
Well, that sounds like the basis of a negotiation. This sort of story plays out in almost all sports franchises. You're playing in a facility which is either yours or shared with somebody else. You have to negotiate with the owner on sort of what share of the revenue from concessions and from the gate you get to keep and what they get to keep. Scheduling. Imagine a place like Madison Square Garden in New York, where you've got multiple sports franchises playing there, and then it's actually busy 365 days of the year. So this is not a news story, but there's also scope for negotiation. The mere fact that you have both the mayor and the province talking about wanting to keep the franchise there means that there's grounds for working out a settlement, maybe with the current owners, maybe with future owners, and keep the franchise in Vancouver.
So it's not, that is not necessarily the deciding factor then, which seems to have dominated.
It's one of many factors. Yeah, it's one of many factors. And frankly, right now, it looks to me like everything is up to negotiation. And this is not a news story. This plays out in many cities with many franchises and many leagues. I've seen this happen over and over again. So I grew up in Winnipeg, and the Jets, of course, left Winnipeg a long time ago and then came back. There's a story both with the departure and the return, and that it plays out in many, many places around North America.
To tell me more about, you were talking about the growth of the MLS as an industry, as a business. How much is that? How much has that become an overarching theme that is overriding that sense of custodian, being the custodian of a community team? How much has that has superseded the sense of obligation to keeping a team in town?
Well, it really has changed the game, to use a bad pun. It's made it more about the economics of the team and the business opportunity that's presented to the owners. If you bought an MLS team 15 or 20 years ago, you may have paid $30 million for it. There's been tremendous asset appreciation, the value of the franchise. It's got TV contracts, it's expanded. It's now got superstars coming back from the European leagues to play in North America. The Messi effect has been very powerful, but that was after the David Beckham effect in LA 15 or 20 years ago. And they're actually just building a new stadium in Miami to deal with the fact that they've got a superstar and are attracting fans from not just the Miami area, but from all of Latin America coming. So the whole nature of the MLS has actually changed. We didn't even write a chapter in our book 15 years ago on Major League Soccer. It was kind of an afterthought. It came after the four big sports in North America. Hockey is obviously one of them. And it was kind of with tennis and others, but it's really grown and mushroomed into a much bigger story. And of course, with that growth, there's an expectation that teams are going to reach out and buy big players. So Vancouver's done that. They bought some big names from the European leagues. And that adds to the cost structure of the team at the same time. So it's not just about revenue growth and value of the franchise. It's really sort of taking the league to another level.
Right. Has sports gambling played any role in that?
That's an excellent question. It's really striking for me because I'm an economist, but I'm also a sports fan. How prominent sports gambling is now on television. Like the major sports networks have really been kind of taken over by the gamblers in a way that maybe booze or beer and tobacco did 25 years ago. So sure, it's a factor. It's drawing a different kind of fan to the franchise or to the sport, where they may not have a passion for the sport per se, but they do like the fact that they can bet on certain things and see a return or a loss going forward. So sure, it's yet another factor in the growth of all the major league sports leagues in North America.
Glenn, from what you've observed in all the parallel cases, if you had the ear of the mayor, the provincial government, what would you say? What would you advise them to do?
Well, I guess two things. First of all, help the existing owners find local owners. Identify possible sources. If the franchise is worth $500 million, which is a lot of money, can you find 3, 5, even more owners who are prepared to put the money on the table knowing that the likely value of the franchise is going to keep rising going forward. So there is a business case for buying in right now. And secondly, be prepared to negotiate on the fundamentals. You've got control of a BC Place. If that's a concern for the existing owners, then sit down and talk it through. See what concessions can be made. I mean, BC Place was paid for a long time ago. You're probably not going to, it will not become a sole tenant. And building a standalone soccer stadium in Vancouver doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense to me. But you know, you've got two tenants with the Lions and the Whitecaps. Find a way to work your way through that, because clearly the passion for soccer is very, very strong in the Lower Mainland and across BC. There's a good reason why people want to come and see the team. So find someone who wants to be the owner as a custodian for the asset for the entire community, and then sit down and negotiate a deal that makes sense for everybody.